Okay. Hello, hello. I am going to watch cleaning videos today. They are pretty crazy, so I thought it would be a funny idea. Initially, I had this planned for today. I had planned to to do like a thread about my favorite things about myself or something, but I don't know. I don't really feel like it. So I think I'm going to watch cleaning videos instead. Maybe it's boring to watch someone watch something, and I'm not sure if I have a lot of comments to make about the cleaning videos and all this, but I don't know. Let's do it. It's what I wanted to do.
Hi everyone. Today I'm back at the Biohazard Hoarder House, and I have officially, as of today, cleaned the grossest thing that I've ever cleaned. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. As you can see by these pictures, the maggots from the kitchen have extended into this room. I'm assuming you've seen the kitchen cleanup, and I probably shouldn't do that. YouTube's a big place. For those of you who don't know, this is a hoarder house, obviously, and the woman still lives in it. She's gone through several surgeries. She is virtually immobile. She can walk a little bit, but most of the time she requires a walker. Her spinal cord is 1/3 the size of an average person's spinal cord. She's dealt with several deaths in the family, including her husband, and combined with the genetic factors that go into hoarding, this house has seen kind of the worst of the disorder. It's one of the worst I've seen. Not as far as clutter goes, but as far as the entire kitchen was covered in dead maggots. As you can see through some of these pictures and some of the video, chairs and dishes that are in this dining room are also covered. But we'll get into the really gross stuff here in just a bit. Right now, I'm just going to start picking up trash, and I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised, that she was attempting to help me, even though she can't really physically get around, and she really doesn't have any business exerting that kind of energy on this house. She really needs like a housekeeper on a weekly basis. But she made an attempt. She went in and cleaned out part of her refrigerator. You'll see her picking up some stuff off the dining room table in the background here in just a bit. I finally got to the point where I made her go in the other room and relax. I mean, she was out of breath. She was having trouble walking, and really, as far as I was concerned, this is what I'm here to do. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do this for free. This is one of my weird hobbies. I'm autistic. I know I mentioned that a lot, so sorry to regular viewers who hear me say it over and over again. But for new viewers, I'm autistic, and this is one of the things that kind of keeps my mind calm and keeps me focused. And I really love watching the transformation from chaos to order. And so I do this for people to help them out. This house cleanup would be, in its entirety, probably $10,000 or $15,000 to get this back in order. And most people I know don't have that kind of money to begin with. So if I can do it for free, hey, that's awesome. They can get something done that they need. I can fulfill my itch. I can scratch my itch for cleaning, and we both, I got to make a neat video out of it, and so we both benefit. When I clean this table, I'm just going to wipe all the maggots off with a dry rag, and those are all dead. And then I'm going to go back over it with a mixture of 91% isopropyl alcohol, water, and Dawn dish soap. I mix the alcohol, about 20% alcohol and 80% water, and I let that sit for a minute or two so that it can disinfect. I have been using a couple things wrong, so I want to kind of correct those in this video. I had used the word sterilize a lot in my last video, and that terminology is incorrect. So what I'm doing here is sanitizing with alcohol and not sterilizing. Also, I had been using Mr. Clean's Clean Freak thinking that it sanitized, but it does not. If you're using Mr. Clean, especially Clean Freak, only use that to get rid of crud and grease and dirt. It's a really nice polishing type of cleaner. But if you're wanting to sanitize, use either alcohol and water or bleach. So I also learned something when I was cleaning these chairs. I don't utilize it until I get into the living room, but it turns out the best way for me to do this stuff is to go over this with Mr. Clean first and get all the crud off of it, and then go back over it with my disinfecting spray with the alcohol, water, and soap mixture. And the reason that that's better is if you can get the dirt and grease and stuff off of stuff first, then you're allowing the disinfectant to make contact with the actual surface of the chair rather than with the dirt. So I'll actually utilize that whenever I get into the
I'm actually going to say something just in case. I don't know, because just my face over this guy's stuff, maybe it's a bit retarded. I don't know, it's interesting that he does it for free. I was thinking when he mentioned for doing it for free, I thought, like providing a service for free that you somewhat enjoy in exchange of making it content. I mean, it's been done. And I wonder if I could do it with editing videos or something like that, or maybe with channel reviews, something like it. I don't know. That was what came through my mind, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea or if it's not a good idea. I don't know.
living room furniture. So now I'm just going to sweep up the floor, and that's basically so I just don't track dirt from room to room. There's so much dirt on this floor that normally you'd save the floors until last, but really the more dirt I can get off of here now, the less I'm tracking, all this nasty stuff all over the house. Now, when I start picking up the trash, especially in the middle of the house, we're going to start getting into all the Pepsi cans. She has a fixation with Pepsi, as you can see. She also collects Pepsi memorabilia. So what I do is I save all the cans in one trash bag, and I put all the trash in another trash bag. That way she can take the cans to a recycling place or have somebody do it for her, and at least get a little bit of money back from this stuff. Now, the dining room in this little transition area between the dining room and living room wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad, but I mean, it's nothing compared to the actual living room. So pretty much all I have to do here is pick up the trash and the Pepsi cans and then sweep the area. But once I get into the living room, this is where things are going to go south pretty quick. So there are at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 trash bags that are overflowing that she has collected herself over a long period of time. Then on top of that and under that, there's a lot of food that's rotting, old pizza boxes and stuff. But the grossest of the gross is going to be when we get over toward that rocking chair. So as far as I can understand, and I'm doing a little bit of common sense piecing together here, is that when she had her surgery or surgeries, and she got really immobile, she couldn't make it to the bathroom. So as far as I can tell, she started using puppy training pads on her chairs. And then when she ran out of puppy training pads, she used bath towels. So what I'm picking up here, and I'm so sorry to have to describe this to you or explain it to you, but what I'm picking up there is literally raw sewage. It's bad enough that if I would have had a biohazard suit or some sort of safety gear to put on over my clothes, I genuinely would have. If I would have had access to a respirator, I would have used that too instead of this mask. I do not advise anyone to do what I'm doing here. I would go in there, if I had to do this over again, I would have put this off for another day and gone out and gotten full biohazard gear. Now, for those of you who have asked, and for everyone who didn't, because I'm going to say it anyway, she is getting help from a doctor. She is seeing a psychiatrist. She's in therapy. If you have seen my last video, which this will be a part of a playlist, and my first video is when I did the kitchen, and that'll be the very first video in this playlist. But if you've seen my cleanup of the kitchen, that was about a week ago, and whenever I arrived here today, the kitchen was still in good shape. The counters were clean. There was one dish in the sink, which was a pan that she had just used today. She had already started to clean out her refrigerator. The stove was still clean. So I was really, really happy that she didn't let that go, and she kept up with it. That's a really good sign. That's very, very, very difficult for somebody with hoarding disorder. Now, normally in these rooms, I try to save what I can. Canned food that hasn't been opened, some dishes and things like that. In this room, almost everything had to be thrown out. It was utterly and completely contaminated. Cans. More like cans.
So many cans. Jesus Christ.
Now, there's a lot of paper and stuff stuck to this floor, and I got most of it off, and we'll go over how I got a lot of this off in just a little bit, but I'm not going to get 100% of it off. If I had more time and I had better equipment with me, I could get this back down to the regular floor. But in this scenario here, the only thing I was doing was trying to get this as clean as possible and as sanitized as possible so she could at least enter this room again. Because as it stands right now, I mean, I wouldn't trust anyone anywhere in this house without like full mask and gloves and everything.
Jesus Christ, the things that are stuck there. Jesus. I don't know, I'm wondering so many things. I don't know, on the one hand, watching these videos, like I do all these funny sounds or whatever, well, not even funny, but yeah, these sounds. And it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it sounds stupid, but it's kind of refreshing to be like, okay, at least my room is not as fucking disgusting, right? And like sanitarily, it's pretty acceptable, right? It's messy, but it's not like unclean. Well, there are parts of it that maybe are a little bit unclean, but yeah, I don't know. I wonder how it all works, right? How it's like, how does it even happen like that, right? Like he's mentioned the story before and in the other video, but I don't know, like, don't you get tired of being surrounded with shit? I don't know. Like when you literally shit yourself. I don't know. I mean, I kind of get it, right? You don't want to call help because you're like, fuck, I don't deserve help or whatever, right? I don't know.
So now we're going to start working on this floor in layers, and this is really, really difficult to pull off. So I'm going to sweep it up and get all the heavy loose stuff off of there first. Then I'll finish picking up the rest of the trash, and then I'm going to come back with a mop bucket filled with bleach water. I think I mixed about 20% bleach and 80% water, and all I'm going to do is saturate the mop in water and then dribble that all over the floor where all this paper and stuff is stuck and where that literal human waste is on the floor. And then I'll allow that to set for quite a while. I think I let that sit 10 or 15 minutes. Now, normally, under no circumstances would I let water sit on a floor like that, on a hardwood floor, but this thing is already ruined, and the only thing I'm concerned about is making sure that I disinfect all this.
And I was thinking, like, no fucking shot. You see me near that without a fucking, like, full PPE on, right? Like, full biohazard PPE type shit. Like, full kitted like this, bro. Like, no way you see my ass down, like, in a room like that without this. Like, just the bare minimum to, like, look at it. And then maybe I proceed. And maybe with cleaning, I don't know. I'm not sure, like, what the fuck would I do. But like, I would get the kit basic, this one, just to be there. Then probably someone like something like this. N95 respirator. I don't know, probably something that goes like woo or some shit. Okay, maybe I'm being a little bit over the top. Full tank of oxygen on my back type shit. Like,
When I vacuum these couches out, I know that one of the things you're going to think is, why didn't you pull the cushions off and vacuum shop back underneath those? Those cushions are actually attached to the couch. So all you can do is just spread them apart where they meet and get in between them, but you can't actually take the cushions off. So here I am, I dribbled the bleach water all over this stuff and I let it set for about 10-15 minutes. Then I'm coming back with a paint scraper and getting all the really nasty, chunky stuff off of here. And mostly what I'm concentrating on is the paper. There's a small, like 1 foot by 1 foot section where the actual human waste is, and fortunately that came up pretty easy. And double fortunately, it doesn't look that gross. But I will never in my life forget that smell. It does not smell the way you're thinking it does. It smells like heavy ammonia, and I can't even describe it. It's not like after you've vacated a taco night. It's not like that at all. There's no smell like it in the world.
I wonder what the smell is like now. What does ammonia smell like? Ammonia is like bleach, right? Bleach is like ácido hipoclorito de sodio is bleach, right? So like sodium hypochlorite. clorito de sodio. In contact with ammonia. Biochemistry in MIDI. Biosynthesis, excretion. In fish, it's excreted directly. Okay, so it's like piss smell, but like concentrated piss smell or something like that. Blech.
So after I scrape all this up, I'm going to sweep up the pile, and then I'm going to put more bleach over the top of this, because now we're down through the first layer, and I want that bleach water to soften the second layer, and then we're going to repeat that process until I'm down to the bare floor. Otherwise, all I'm doing is dribbling bleach on top of dirt, but I'm never actually reaching the floor to sanitize the floor itself. Then once I've gotten bare floor or most of the way down, I'm going to mop it pretty heavy with a really saturated mop, and then go back again with a paint scraper now that I've got all that loose stuff off, because now I can see a little bit better what I'm working with. So I'll mop that whole floor with bleach, and that will loosen up even more dirt, so I'll sweep that up again. And then in the meantime, I'm going to change the mop water out, and I'm going to replace that with Murphy's oil soap rather than bleach, because at this point, I've gotten that saturated enough and mopped in enough to where this is mostly sanitized. I still wouldn't walk on it with bare feet, because bleh, but it's enough to where it's only a psychological thing. At this point, the actual really bad stuff is killed off. Now, there are things that they make that can get rid of that black stain, and we may come back at some point and get rid of that, but right now I'm not concerned about stains. I'm concerned about what made the stains.
So much shit.
So now we'll just sweep our way all the way through the dining room and the living room and try to get this as cleaned up as possible so that I can start mopping both of these floors. Now, before I mop, I want to get the last of the little furniture stuff done. I was wiping this down and having a little bit of trouble because I couldn't get into the cracks around the glass, and then I realized, oh, you can actually take the glass out. You just push it out from the bottom. So I push that out. I use Mr. Clean to get the main crud and stuff off, and then I go back over it with alcohol and water, which is what I was talking about earlier in the video, and that seemed to work way, way better than doing that in reverse. I wish I could have done something better with all the cords that are draped over that chair, but I couldn't figure out how to kind of hide them because it's in a really weird spot. But right now it looks like Medusa. Another thing we'll do at some point in the future is come back and make this place look more decorative and pretty. Again, right now I'm mainly concentrating on trying to disinfect everything and get it clean, and then we can use a decorative eye a little bit later whenever the house gets into livable condition again. Now, I wouldn't do this to every TV because I don't know how the screens would react with what I'm using. But if you've got a cheap TV that's got a bunch of fingerprints and stuff on it, you can use that alcohol, soap, and water solution and wash that down with a microfiber towel, and it will take all that stuff off of there really easy. Okay, now one last sweep across the living room floor, and then we will switch to Murphy's oil soap and start mopping. And I mean, obviously it's not perfect, and obviously there's still some paper and stuff stuck to the floor, but compared to what that was, that's insane. Oh, and before anybody asks, I did in fact lift up the couch on both sides, and I lift up that recliner in the back. There was basically nothing underneath there. The trash had built like a tight wall and kind of made like a trash dam, so nothing could get underneath it. There was a little bit of stuff underneath it, but it was too boring to film, so I just cleaned it out and moved on.
That's crazy. I don't know, the thing about this, I don't know, it's pretty crazy to see. Like right now, compared to before, it's like, wow, that's insane. But imagine that you go buy a house and you see this fucking floor. It's like now I see that it's basically shit, right? That someone basically shut for months and the shit leaked out into the fucking floors. Bruh, that's insane. I don't know, that's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Now this is the cleanest area of the house. This is the computer desk, and I don't even think the computer works anymore. Pretty much everything is unplugged. And so all I'm doing here is pulling stuff off of it, putting all the paperwork in one box. Oftentimes at a hoarder's house, one of the things that they all seem to collect is mail. Junk mail, important mail. So it's really difficult to figure out what is good to throw in the trash and what is good to keep. So what I do, just to err on the side of caution, is to put all paperwork in one spot. I mean, they had it in one spot on the computer desk anyway, so all I'm doing is putting it in a box. So it's not like it's hidden away in their house. When I fill this box, I'll close it up and I put it underneath the desk and then push the chair in front of it. That way she knows exactly where it's at. Then I'm just going to do a quick declutter on the top of the desk and get rid of any old, obvious trash. Try to organize it as best I can. We're not looking for perfect here. And then I'm just going to use Everyday Pledge to wipe down and, dust the thing off. At this point, I was starting to really feel it, and I was just like, I just want it done so I can go home and eat things I'm not supposed to eat and then lay around and do 8 pounds of nothing.
Respect.
Okay, now we're going to get the final sweep in this area and then put everything back, and then we can move on and finish out the mopping with Murphy's Oil soap in this room. So suck it. Also, I realized that those pants do nothing for my butt. I swear I have a butt, but I may have to actually look into buying some pants that prove that. Wonder if I can sue that pants company for butt disguising. Butt hiding. I will not put up with butt falsehoods. I actually tried to get that paper that's on the upper left-hand corner of your screen. I tried to get that up with a scraper, but that's really, really stuck on there. I can get it off with, there's a chemical or a product they call Goo-Gone, and I've got some out in the van, but it also snowed for the first time here last night and this morning while I was doing this, and I was just too much of a wuss to go out and get it. I will at some point. Oh, hey, more dishes. So yeah, it wouldn't be a Midwest Magic cleaning video without a ton of dishes done at 1500% speed. Now, these are all the dishes that just came out of the living room and dining room. And so she actually did have a clear sink whenever I came in here today, but there was a lot of dishes that came out of those two rooms. And this is not even taking into effect the ones that I just outright threw away because they were too contaminated to save. I do, by the way, make that sound whenever I do dishes sometimes, or whenever I'm doing really anything and I'm the only one there and I need to amuse myself. If you don't make sound effects while you're doing chores, we don't even live in the same universe.
Bro, she has so much stuff, though, right? Like, I don't know. I guess the husband, right, paid for it, and then he died.
All right, last of the dishes, and here comes some before and after shots. These are pretty crazy. I'm so glad you guys couldn't smell in that room. It was so bad. So next week, hopefully, I'll be doing the bathroom, but I'm probably going to have to search for literal biohazard gear for the bathroom because it's not like anything you've ever seen, I promise you. If you haven't subscribed yet, that'd be awesome. I'm not the kind of guy who really cares a lot about subscriber counts, but I just kind of want to get one of those plaques and freak out all my kids' friends. All right, I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching.
The bathroom has to be fucking insane, bro. I'm scared.
Gonna just let you take that in for a minute. Alrighty. So if you haven't watched any of the other videos in this series, this is a hoarder house, and we've done so far the kitchen, the living room and dining room, and now we're into the bathroom. And these were piled up so high, and they covered so much of the bathroom floor that I couldn't open the door all the way. I could open it up about 2 feet, and it was just enough for me to squeeze through the door. So my first goal here is to get as many of these picked up around the door area as I can so that I can just at least get the door open so that I can carry the trash bags out to a dumpster. Now, at first I thought that these were going to have to be disposed of in biohazard bags, and I think in larger cities they probably still would have to be. Where I live, you can double bag these and they go straight to the landfill. So what I'm using here is 2 mil thick, 40-gallon concrete the bathroom floor that I could room, and now we're into watched any of the other videos in this series. This is a hoarder house, and we've done so far the kitchen, the living room and dining room, and now we're into the bathroom. And these were piled up so high, and they covered so much of the bathroom floor that I couldn't open the door all the way. I could open it up about 2 feet, and it was just enough for me to squeeze through the door. So my first goal here is to get as many of these picked up around the door area as I can so that I can just at least get the door open so that I can carry the trash bags out to a dumpster.
I'm going to get a glass of water. There's no one here, so fuck you.
Now, at first, I thought that these were going to have to be disposed of in biohazard bags, and I think in larger cities, they probably still would have to be. Where I live, you can double bag these, and they go straight to the landfill. So what I'm using here is 2 mil thick, 40-gallon contractor bags, and I fill one of those up, then take it into the other room and double bag it, and then throw it out into a dumpster that's out in front of the house. These were so heavy when the bags were halfway full that it was like carrying a full-grown human. I think about half a bag full of these, 3/4 of a bag, were easily 100 to 150 pounds. It took a lot for me to lift them. As you can see in the background, that toilet is completely black, and that is a combination of feces, black mold, and lime scale. We'll tackle that here in just a few. Now, I've gotten enough of these away from the door that for the first time in probably a year, if not longer than that, this door is finally opened all the way. If you're wondering about the smell, there was none because I'm wearing full hazmat gear as well as a respirator. The respirator did a really, really good job of blocking all smells. So how big was that pile? Well, it depends. Hi-oh! And this is the first time this floor's been uncovered in a really long time too. It was really, really slick because it was all wet, and I'm really shocked that the flooring wasn't more destroyed than it actually was. There's a rug that covered up a piece of plywood, and it was so destroyed I just had to get rid of it. I mean, nothing that came in contact with any of this is any good anymore. It's all contaminated. So I threw away rugs, rags, towels, just pretty much everything in this bathroom got tossed.
I'm just thinking of the pricing. Free is too little. I don't know. I don't know. I'm also wondering about the training that you have to do this professionally, right? Is there even any training? I feel like there should be some, right? Like you should know how at least some like basics about chemicals and all this, right?
The first thing I'm going to put on this toilet is Easy Off Oven Cleaner because it's really good at breaking down organics. So I'm just going to let that eat away at the organics in the toilet for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll scrub that down with a regular toilet brush and then start working our way layer by layer through that mess. The right-hand side of that toilet on the bottom is exactly what you think it is. The right-hand side of that toilet on the bottom is exactly what you think it is. So we're going to douse that in Easy Off as well and let that set for probably a good 15 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do to the floor is douse that in Lysol, mix it 10 times its normal strength. And then this is going to look like I'm trying to mop this up. It's not really mopping as much as it is just smearing around puddles of Lysol. Then we're going to let that sit on the floor for as long as we can. I think I let it sit there for close to a half hour. Then I'll take a scraper and get up chunks of unmentionables and then finish basically dirty slop mopping the floor.
Right, with like triple glove. What the fuck?
All right, so we're going to go back to the toilet and use the toilet brush to get off as much of the outer organic layer as we can. Then after we flush, I'm going to use a plunger to force water through the trap and reduce the water level as much as I can so that whenever I come back and put the Clorox toilet cleaner on it and that has bleach in it, it can stick below the water line. I let that set for about 15 minutes or so, and then I scrubbed it down and then re-doused it again. So right now we're working with basically straight stained lime scale, but I still want that bleach to work on that as much as possible. Then while that's working, I'm going to mop the floor again with Lysol. Now this is not sanitized yet. All I'm trying to do here is give myself some area to work where I'm not stepping on 5 levels of nasty. Okay, now while that's drying, I'm going to go to the sink and start clearing that up with just Mr. Clean. I'm going to use Mr. Clean to get the main crud off, and then I'm going to go back over that with a mixture of isopropyl alcohol, water, and Dawn dish soap, and that's what I'm going to use to sanitize it. It also has the added benefit of making it shine. Alcohol's really, really good at shining up things like porcelain and faucets. The mixture that I'm using is 91% isopropyl alcohol. About 10 to 20% of that bottle is filled with that. Then the other 90 to 80% is filled with water and like 3 or 4 drops of Dawn dish soap.
That's insane, man. It's insane.
I'm going to wash the mirror using that same mixture of alcohol, soap, and water. And the bathroom at this point is sanitized enough to where I no longer need the protective gear. What you saw leading up to the mirror in the sink, I think that was about 3.5 hours that I spent in that suit in order to make the bathroom at least sanitized enough to where I could switch to an N95 mask and gloves. Then I'll switch to paper towels on the toilet in order to get the main gunk off, and then I can switch to other implements of cleaning destruction after that. Now I'll take the toilet brush and go over this one more time. And I've gotten pretty much, well, not pretty much, I've gotten all the organics off of it now. We're working with just straight limestone that's been stained. Or I say limestone, it's lime scale. It's not big chunks of limestone.
What the hell is lime scale? Sarro. Cal.
Now I'm going to spray the whole toilet down with Mr. Clean and let that set for a bit, and then use the plunger trick again to force the water through the trap, lowering the water level so I can get more cleaner onto that actual lime scale. If you ever wonder why I use Mr. Clean, watch the underside of that toilet seat, how much that cleans that up. That's absolutely crazy. She needs a new toilet seat, but she actually needs a whole new toilet. The bottom of this thing on both sides, the base is broken. The toilet seat is just old and not useful anymore, and they are going to replace that. So I'm going to take Power Paste, which is a Scrub Daddy product, and I'm going to use a Scrub Mommy to see how much of this I can get off of there before I start adding more chemicals. Don't worry, I throw the Scrub Mommy away. Also, I'm not dipping the Scrub Mommy back into the Power Paste. I'm just scooping up some Power Paste with my hand and putting it on the sponge thingy. She's all like, oh no, not on my face. And I'm like, you suck it. Eat Power Paste. Now I'm going to use one of my favorite products, which is Lime Away, and I'm going to douse that like it stole something. And then while that's setting, again for about 15-20 minutes, I'm going to move on to other parts of the bathroom. So I'm going to spray down the sink pedestal looking thing with Mr. Clean, and then just clean that with a paper towel. Normally I use microfiber towels for all this, but this is so cruddy that like if you use a microfiber towel on these initial wipe downs, you're going to be able to use the towel for like one wipe, and then it gets so dirty that I just be wasting rags. So I'm getting the main part off with paper towels and then doing polish cleaning with microfiber. Now here you can see where that toilet is broken. You can see it goes right across that post and then right up to the P-trap. The other side is the same exact way. It's been shifted while it was being sat on, and it just snapped it. She's very lucky that there's no leaks, and it's actually one of the reasons that I don't clean those cracks really well, because there's a very good chance, as gross as it sounds, that all the nasty crud that's on there is actually preventing water from coming out the side of that. Now I'll continue cleaning up the bottom part of this toilet with Mr. Clean until I get it down to a respectable level, and then I'm switching to the alcohol mixture so that I can help sanitize that. Yeah, this stuff was really, really on there.
Man, I haven't considered what installing a toilet looks like. Wonder how changing this one goes. Has to be pretty crazy, right? Like, not on new houses, but like on renos and all that kind of shit. Because even like a regular toilet, right? My own toilet, if you like take it out and put a new one in, like it probably still smells like shit and all that, right? I don't know. So the people who do that,
poop. Right, now that the outside of the toilet's done, I'm going to clean the baseboards and the walls, and that's just with straight Mr. Clean. Now, everything in here, whether it's shown on camera or not, everything is finished off with the alcohol mixture because I don't trust anything in this bathroom to be sanitary or even remotely clean without using alcohol on it. And here in a few, we're even going to use bleach on the floor and the baseboards. Now, I don't do the bathtub in this because the bathtub is full-blown shattered. It's got like, I don't even know, man, like 25 cracks in it. That's going to have to be taken out and replaced, so I just left it alone. This window has they had just scotch taped the bottom part of that window frame together, and it's got one nail holding it in, but the nail's really loose. So as I'm cleaning it, it falls off, and then I pick it up like I meant to do that. like it's easier to clean if I'm holding it in my hand. So I just continued to clean it off, and then just pushed it back in there as best I could. If I would have had a hammer and nails with me, which I usually do, I would have just nailed that back up, but I don't. Windows are cleaned with the alcohol mixture, and then I just dry that off with an ultrafine microfiber towel, and that gets rid of any streaks. Then these light covers are just cleaned with Mr. Clean and a rag. There was evidently an earthquake going on or something. I don't know. Oh, I know what it was. My tripod is like 6 feet tall, so if you walk anywhere near it, it shakes and makes everything look like the world's imploding. Now we'll go back to the toilet, which I think was the name of Metallica's last album, and we'll scrub this down with a Scrub Mommy. And remember, this had Lima Waste sitting on it, and this takes off quite a bit. We'll flush it, and then we'll do the plunger trick one more time, and then we're going to redouse that with Lime Away. Really soak it down and let it sit while I'm doing the rest of the bathroom. So we'll switch to the doors and the door frames, and that's all done with just Mr. Clean. I use a little non-scratch scouring pad to get rid of all this. Like that black stuff up there is actually black mold and insect feces, and then I clean it right in its stupid face. Suck it, mold. Then after I'm done scrubbing that, I just wipe it down with a microfiber
Wonder if there's like a Reddit for cleaning.
cloth, and it gets rid of all the gunk and turns it back into
Hello, by the way. I'm taking a break from looking at things to check Twitter.
as white as it can be, considering its condition.
Goodbye. If you're not a cleaning head, goodbye.
If you're wondering why I'm starting at the bottom of this door and working my way up rather than starting from the top and working down, it's mainly because it doesn't matter at all. This thing is so trash that I end up having to wash it down like 3 times. So it doesn't matter if the stuff that I'm wiping off on top runs down onto the stuff that I've already cleaned. I have to wipe it all down again anyway. I don't show that on camera because it would be really boring watching me wash a door like 3-4 times in a row. But trust me, I did. And I've got the sore arm to prove it.
Crazy.
Some more black mold and some more sucket. All right, now that the doors are done, I'm going to use a Scrub Mommy again on the Lime Away that we've had sitting on there for a bit. And then I'm going to use, I think I use a scraper right after this. Nope, just going to dump in a crap load of CLR. In fact, I'm going to dump a full bottle of that in there. I'm going to let that sit for a long time. I think I let that sit for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to take a scraper to it, a paint scraper. You can see that scraper's making little marks in the toilet. That doesn't actually matter. Those will just buff right out. Plus, I mean, I'm washing a ruined toilet, so I'm not all that concerned if it gets a couple scrapes in it. Now, the only thing I don't worry about here is the very interior of that bottom. I got everything off except for that, and if I wanted to, I could dump some CLR in there and just let that sit overnight, and that would all soften up and come out, but I'm not really concerned about it. Again, they're going to be replacing the toilet and the bathtub, and in fact, they're going to be remodeling this entire room. Her daughter's coming in to remodel it. Like right there where that little plywood is, or particle board, I don't remember what you call it. There's a hole in the floor underneath that where water is set for so long. It just basically ate a hole right through the floor. That's what the rug was covering up, but I mean, there's no way I'm putting that rug back in there. Then I'm going to start wrapping up the room by cleaning her trash cans, and then I'm going to spray the alcohol mixture into it to help just kill off anything that's in there, and I don't wipe that out, I just let it stay, because alcohol will evaporate on its own pretty quickly. So I'll just let that sit in there and eat stuff away. Now I'm mopping the floor with bleach, and this is about 10% bleach and 90% water, and that will kill off anything that remained on the floor. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, it would be awesome if you did. I don't really care about the subscriber numbers, but as I mentioned in my last video, I think it'd be fun to freak out my kids' friends if I had a YouTube plaque. Hope you were grossed out, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yo, that's crazy. Interesting comments. 10 feet. Jesus. Hello, by the way. I'm reading the Wikipedia article on this hoarder. These two hoarder brothers. They became hoarders because they were racist. That's fucking insane. Interesting. This is interesting. I don't know. Yo, Baller. I think I'm going to end the stream though. So yeah, I think you just joined but you left, so yeah, no problem. But I don't know. I wanted to give some thoughts before ending stream. Some thoughts about this hoarding business or whatever. I think as a reflection or whatever, I don't know, I had never thought of this hoarding phenomenon, where it came from. I think that it comes from, unlike people, well, people say that it might have to do with modern technology, blah blah blah. I think it has to do with modernity, but mainly with, like, obviously it is enabled. Like the root, the way it, the only reason it's allowed to happen is because in modern times now there is like super excess of everything, right? So there is excess, and you can even begin to like more people have excess of shit, so you can collect that. And then why do some people do it? Because they're crazy is probably like the quickest explanation, right? I don't know. Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot the stream and I was reading manga. I was watching cleaning videos. Pretty insane. I'm going to end the stream like in basically now. But I was doing some kind of end of stream thoughts. And yeah, basically yo. Yeah, I'm kind of analyzing the comments and a little bit of that, right? Basically, how does this even happen in the first place? And people are saying because these people, right, are like they need help or they don't need help, they are crazy. What, like they don't let themselves be helped. Interesting, like dynamics, right? I was really hyped to read the Notaboy manga, but I realized after 2 pages that I had already read it. Lol. Maybe the store accepts returns or something. Or maybe it's good to have it in the collection or something. And yeah, basically not sure, not a lot else to say about it. Do you game on your PC? Yeah. Well, I mean, not a lot, but well, lately, yeah, PUBG. I play PUBG pretty often these days. It's mostly what I play. I've been playing Just Cause 3 again. Not the story, but like completing the missions and all this, like completing extra things. So yeah, I game a little bit. Why? Do you? I've been thinking of getting the kitty game too, the one that I showed on stream yesterday. This one. I never returned a manga. I don't know why. I do have one or two twice. Because I bought them and then realized I already had them. Kitty. This one. Little Kitty, Big City. It would be interesting to see you play something. What game? I've thought of it. Generally, I think something like, oh, but I can't play games or something, right? But to be honest, like lately I don't give a fuck. Maybe it's even better that I play games than to watch videos or to make videos or whatever, right? I don't know. By the way, I have work tomorrow, so I might not make it. Alright. I think tomorrow I'm going to be talking about this. About the things about my favorite things about myself and the counterpart of the least favorite things and all this. So yeah. Sometimes being alone helps with some part of it. It's also going to be a video, so it's going to be like the classic recording a video stream. Probably. I'm not sure because I wanted to do it today, but I didn't do it because I didn't feel like I wanted, like I didn't feel in the mindset to do it. I think any game would be fine as long as you like it. I don't know. I think there are games that are better to play while streaming because commenting them, like they give like more reasons to comment on, right? Versus, for example, I've streamed myself playing like GTA or something, and in those games I'm more quiet. I think because I'm just like doing the things in the game. But I wanted to do the GTA tour of my garage again. I've already done it, but I wanted to maybe do it again So maybe I will play GTA sometimes. I thought of playing RimWorld and have you teach me, right? Because if you know RimWorld, so I can be like, okay, how do I do this? Instead of looking it up, I just ask. How much is RimWorld? RimWorld. Hostias, qué caro. $32. Holy shit. I mean, I guess the per hour time is is low, right? Oh hey Hong, how's it going? I am late. Maybe a little bit because I will quit stream pretty soon. But no worries. There will be more days. Factorio is also another game that costs 32 euros that I was thinking of playing. My mom take away my iPad all day. Sad to hear. No, it not a little bit. It long. Not sure what you mean. They are still doing like Friday facts. What the fuck is this? Simuladores. They are in this category called simulators. I like the Plague Evolved thing. Creeper World 4. Wait, Thief 6 is at 3 euros. Why? Is it have they made it pay to win or whatever or what? If you think about it playing multiplayer, forget about it. Have they added like battle passes or some shit or what? Because the anthology is like 25 euros. How did you have blue thing like tall? Did you have Coscoro gave it to me? Since I was almost always here and I couldn't post a link. Yeah, it was a while ago. I mean, I might buy it. How when does it end? 21st of June. Ah, all right. It said that it ended tomorrow in the previous thing here. Sims 4 is free to play now? What the fuck? I could also look at... Oh, I like this expansion. I think my brother has it. Body cam, yo, crazy. Flight Simulator 40th anniversary. Yo, TDU Solar Crown. Kebab chefs is in the physics category. Why now am I a boy? Like 127, 127. Like how am I 14? I don't know what you are asking. I guess simply that he is young. There are so many games, man. That's crazy. And every one of these games is made by people, right? And some of them must be getting paid, right? If these games are selling, someone must be buying, and also someone must be getting paid. I wonder how rich the developers of this game have become. Raysad Studio. Maybe not that rich, I don't know. Mixed reviews. Two video game enthusiasts aged 10 and 20. €30. What time do you go to work? 8 a.m. Might 8 p.m. Midnight, all good. I'm all day. What time Kwan go to work? I don't go to work. I don't have a job. Still. Sorry. Sorry to report. It also pains me. Probably pains me more than it pains you. Was it time for the video in live? Was it time for the video in live? At what time do I go live? 4:30, more or less. So like, I don't know. Maybe you're 9 p.m. or something. I don't know. Are you teacher? No, I don't have a job. Okay, thank you for swinging by the stream. Goodbye. I'm ending it now. I will instantly just say yes, but I don't think you will get that it's a joke. No job. Nope. Sorry. Bye.